Welcome to Fearless and Fabulous, a roller coaster of authenticity, smashing limiting beliefs, and owning your fabulous self with a sprinkle of sass and unapologetic flair. I'm Christy, the founder of Choose You Coaching, and I'm grateful to introduce my co host, colleague, Mark Brooks.
And I'm Mark. I'm a confidence and empowerment coach who will help you to tackle limiting beliefs and quieten those inner saboteurs.
Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of
Woohoo!
Fearless and Fabulous. It's been a while, and Christy and I are pleased to be with you. And you can actually see our faces this time. We decided to embrace, I say decided, I've been encouraged to get on the video and talk to you in person. So, welcome, Christy. And how are you today?
So great, Mark. Thank you for the warm welcome, the sense of vulnerability. Yes, you can see us now. We're so excited to be operating a new season, but also adding this layer of video to connect with you more.
This is where we want to be. We want to connect with you even further. So obviously, we've done season 1. That showed who we are, what we're about, what we're here for. Season 2 went through a bit of life activity, so the ups and downs of everything that we've gone through to really reinforce what we're here for and what we want to bring to the table to you. And that is obviously us. We want to talk about transitions. It's obviously transitions that have been happening, going on in our lives, various things that have just put the pause in our activity and actually chatting with you, sharing with you, and just talking about all that messy stuff that goes on in life that you want to share with us as well. So today I want to talk about, what are the shifts that have happened, the moments that have been going on behind the scenes that have quietly redefined everything in your lives, because there's been a few in ours, I'd like to say, perhaps, Christy, really.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. So for me, there's been activity around, I say, the 9 to 5, the day job, the messy stuff that's been going on there. Then the company that I work for acquired by another organization. Moving house to a new location, the transition that occurs in putting together different homes and different organizations, really. I think though that Christie's had the biggest transition really in her life.
Another baby has entered the household, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Yes, so we welcomed baby Roman Chinchuli at the end of August last year, and it has been the greatest transition ever. I always say that I birthed Roman and my husband Jared birthed a new business. So we also took on the path of our life wasn't crazy enough. Let's start our own business. And we are now founders of Ograno, which is a dried pasta company. So that has been pretty incredible and a big transition for us as well. But these past months of Roman entering into our life, first off, Mark, you were right. We had a sweet boy. You were convinced. And the girls have been so unbelievably incredible. And I feel so grateful for how they show up as sisters and all the transition that our family has gone through in this past year. It just all feels right.
Yeah, I think it's seeing the change in obviously you and how you are and showing up as I've always said you seem a great mom. And I think, to tackle 3, obviously, wow, that you're either loving it or you had no choice and voice in the matter.
Yes. Yes.
It's just happening.
And there are days, goodness, that I am so immersed in all of the love, and this is the greatest thing ever. And there are days where I'm like, I don't know how I can do another day, but here we are. And I think that's a part of what transition means, really. I can relate it to the aspect of being a mom and what that means, but all of you listeners can listen or to absorb this in any way that you experience transition. Job, move, partnership, relationship, something within yourself, having another child, having one child, trying to conceive and having a baby. There's so many different ways that transition can come into our life, and we get to decide how we face it head on.
And that's right. I think it's, we do get to choose about those and, call it a change, call it a shift, call it a transition. It doesn't ask you permission, doesn't ask you if this is okay. It sometimes just happens. I mean, yeah, you can choose when and if you're going to have another baby, but when it actually going to happen is not always in your say. And you just have to, lean into it, and reframe it about not just what's changing externally, but how you're going to manage it internally, how you're going to readapt your identity to that shift that is happening and how the transitions are occurring in your life. And it isn't always, starting a new job, or moving home, or starting a new business. It's the I no longer fit where I used to because this is now who I am. I no longer identify as this because this is now what I do. As you know, speaking of Jared and starting a new business, he's no longer just an employee. He's now a business owner. He's more than that, and that's sometimes the change that takes time to catch up with you is your identity can move a lot quicker than you internally catch up with it. And it's what you can do, I suppose, to realize you do fit exactly where you are.
Mhm. Thank you for saying that, Mark. I mean, you're 100% right. It's like being able to not be in control of whatever's going to come at you, but then also recognize that you are a change maker, that you can make a difference in whatever you decide to do, and how I think you take your personal values, something that we have absolutely talked on this platform of our podcast,
Yeah,
like what are your personal values? How are they your North Star? And whatever enters into your life, that's what roots you and keeps you grounded.
completely agree. And we have talked about North Star. What are your boundaries? And sometimes, your identity can evolve fast to the environment you're living in. But you have to know what your boundary is and what you're not prepared to deal breakers, I suppose they are as well, aren't they? It's like, no,
Yeah.
this is not something I'm prepared to budge on. And I mentioned about my organizations, we've been acquired. So is redundancy an option? Is new job roles, new changes going to take place there? Some of it I can control. Some of it is just, I just have to almost like get in the canoe and ride the raft and hope it doesn't go over the waterfall. Um, but then have I got oars? Can I steer to the safer side? What can I do that can make me feel like I'm in a safer place in that sense? And where sometimes that you've probably stayed longer than you should have because it felt safe, because you don't want to go with a shift, you don't want to transition to a new identity because you feel, I like it here, this is my comfort zone. And other times things happen to us. I guess I'm thinking about you now, Christy, as I'm a mum of two, I like it, it's okay. Have three. Um, it's that, you go with it. You just trust that you're going to find your feet, you're going to make it work, um, in that way. And I'm not going to compare it to cooking, which is like, cooking for more people, just get bigger pans. I'm sure it's completely different to
It really is, it is.
that.
No, I appreciate everything that you're saying because if you would have asked me like 5 years ago, like where my life would be right now in 2026, so much is different and in the best way, in the absolute best way. And at the same time, it's so interesting, like seeing my partner, Jared, being so passionate about always wanting to have his own business. That has always been something that's been so unbelievably important to him. And then being able to like say, okay, let's do it. Like the time is now. Let's do it. Let's make this transition happen for ourselves. There's so much power in that, you know? I think it also what you had said of like, is it the safe choice? You have the opportunity to, one mantra that always stays with me, right? Is it going to be the hard right or the easy wrong? What does a transition look like between two children to three? Do you know all the outside voices that came into our life, family members, friends? They're like, oh, you're not going to feel a difference. It's so much harder of a transition from going from one child to two versus two to three. Like this will be a breeze. You almost like tell yourself that, like, oh yeah, it is. This transition from two to three was the hardest thing that I have done. There's definitely going to be moments where I'm like, remember when I said that was hard? This is so much harder. This is so much harder. Uh, I think it's also what you had said, like the boundaries that you create, that outside noise. Again, rooting into like what is your North Star? What are your values to keep yourself grounded when things are going on? That's what's always going to be right. It's like us finding authenticity in who we are. Who is Mark? Who is Christy? If you're listening to this right now, like how do you define yourself? And how does that support you in everything that you go through? Because when you do that, I think it makes it just a little bit easier in those hard rights that you decide to take on with your life.
I'm a big believer that shifts do happen. We have to grow and evolve as people. So we have to go with the transitions that are happening in our life. Sometimes they're, I say, not always our choice. We do have agency over decisions, but we don't have a choice in what the outcome is going to be. But we can choose based on our personal values, our North Star, how we want to cope with it, how we want to deal with it. Feel it, sit with it, but you've got to get up and you've got to move. Let the shift and change happen, but move with it as it's happening in a direction that you feel comfortable, that doesn't belie your own beliefs of where you want to be as a person. I think is, these transitions are evolutions of you in a way. But also it's a quiet realization of, this is what I want to do instead, actually, through that coming about. I mean, we spoke before about Jared setting up the Algrano, and there's a desire there to do it. It's just how can I make it happen? And when you do it, you're like, okay, this is great.
Yeah. Let's go deeper on this because I like what my feelings are is like we're making it sound easy. Friends, it is not. Transition is also really hard. And gosh, if you started recording a podcast episode after like having us getting used to the transition of our family turning into five with Roman not sleeping through the night, I mean, goodness, I wouldn't be able to speak so positively about what transition looks like. So, Mark, tell me about a time where like it really like felt hard. Like you didn't know how to cope. What
I
did you
think it's
do?
I think it's when you have that lack of clarity, you feel lost, but actually it's the change is happening. Is this something that's going against me, or is it something I can work with? I think very often when you're in that period, it is about, well, what do I want? What outcome do I want out of this?
Mhm.
Um, what do I want to be or see from this? What can I do for myself that is not all, I say, people pleasing for other people, that's not putting them first? What can I do that puts me first in this? To almost take a bit of control. I say that when shifts and transitions of life are out of your control at times. You can choose sometimes to make, move home, have another baby, set up a business. They're choices from the physical. But the emotional feeling that drives is you don't always have a choice over that. The anxiety, the low points that may come with it. Yeah, it does come with excitement, but there's almost that, what are people going to think of me when I do this? What are they going to say to me? What are those negative comments going to be because I'm letting go of something, or it's a misaligned growth from friendships I've got. It's drifting apart from people that are in your life because of where you see yourself. And it's almost like, well, what can I do for me? What can I do that's not going to lose that person, that's going to still have them here with me, but in a way that suits where I want to be in my life? So I think that's why I cope with it is, well, what makes me feel comfortable in that
Mhm.
sense? And very often, sometimes that just the door, switch the TV on, get a book, just chill, remember who you are, because that's what matters once you step out that door, whether that's in the job you're going to, the family dinner you're attending. In that way, just remember who you are.
Mm. Can we sit in this a little bit? Do like a little meditation, a future vision experience?
I think that'd be
Because I
good.
think that you've hit something so important. It's the outside noise and the way the world is right now. Friends, there is so much outside noise. And that people pleasing can sneak in. It can elevate what your transition looks like. So let's just sit together for a moment, come together and like really define like you. I think that's so important. So where you are, find a tall seat. You know me, I gotta press my hands on my heart if that resonates with you. Option to close your eyes or dim your gaze. And actually here, Visualize the noise around you. Think about something that really is giving you transition in your life right now. Notice how your heart rate has shifted. Take scan of how you inhale and exhale. Now start to quiet your mind with thoughts of who you are. What's one word that defines you? What's one thing that takes care of you? How do you refuel yourself? Once again, notice how your body, your energy has shifted. Notice how your chest rises and falls. The groundedness in your body. The purpose and presence that you provide yourself. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Blink open your eyes, release your hands. How beautiful in that moment, no matter where you are in the world, we got to unite and come together in an inhale and exhale.
I always like that. I think when we talk about a topic as well, that's about shift transitions, things that happen in your life that either through choice or just through it's happening. Um, Christy always gets it right with that pause. I'm there saying, get a book, put on the TV, close and lock the door, and sometimes just grounding yourself, taking that deep breath, remembering who you are and what you want and where you are and is the important thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. It was so present for me in how you were communicating. I mean, again, another topic we've talked so much about is self-care. I would be lying that throughout our time away from our podcast, I was drowning. There were moments where Jared was out at work, out at a farmer's market promoting El Grano, and the kids were screaming and crying. I was just so drained and feeling like I was failing. My boobs were killing me from what it takes to breastfeed and support and nourish my sweet Roman. Hadn't showered in days, and people would come and be like, "Oh, well, remember, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself." And I was failing in this transition. I could elevate people all day, every day, but I was underwater. I was drowning. There was a moment, of course, my unicorn Maisie, especially with her because she's 4 now. We talk a lot about what it means to regulate your emotions, and she's very aware. Rewind 4 years ago when Jared and I were talking about what do we want to teach our children. One of the skills that I wanted to teach them is empathy. And Maisie has got it. She saw me just underwater again, just like really struggling. And she's like, Mommy, maybe we just need to take a breath because that's something that I do to her. How crazy is it that my 4-year-old is mirroring back what like I need? of course, like the self-doubt internal roommate Christy is like, oh, I made my daughter feel like that. Like she had to like see that like I need a breath. I need to re-regulate my emotions. But the happy, positive, grounded Christy is like, I taught my daughter that. Like she is uplifting, she is encouraging, she feels someone's energy so in tune that she can say, "Hey, I see you. Let's take a deep breath together. You're not alone." God, I love my kids so much.
It comes
And
across in the way you talk about them, though. It is.
and it's just like in those days that are just so freaking hard. Um, really all you have to do is just like put your hands, like make a connection, take a deep breath, be with yourself in a moment. It may not fill your cup all the way, but it will be this moment, this action to say, hey, here's who I am, here's how I show up. And the transition, it's going to get easier. It's going to get better. For whatever reason, the universe has a higher plan that I'm supposed to be in this moment right now.
I think when
Going
you
on video, whole nother level of vulnerability, y'all. I know you've heard me cry a little bit, but now you're seeing it too.
I think when you share in that way of like you can stop your cup from spilling out by just taking that breath. It may not fill you right back up, but what it'll do is it might stop you from losing more. You know, that unknown that you might have, that I'm not good enough, that I've got to prove myself, is sometimes that pause can help you to become. You hear a lot from me, Christian. It's that, I'm not good enough. I don't feel I'm doing what I could. Perhaps that's your old identity of what you were doing, showing you that actually you're not that anymore. You had two, you've now got three. So yeah, you got to step it up a little bit, but you'll get there. Don't worry, we're going to help you. And that's in other parts of life as well. It's say in the workplace is you can be given a new role and you're thinking, oh, I can do this, it's fine. But then the expectations are slightly more. There's a little bit more expected of you. There's more people to accommodate or support in that way. And you're thinking, okay, maybe I can't, maybe I'm failing, maybe I'm not. That imposter syndrome that I'm not a fan of imposter syndrome. It's more about having the confidence. You can be capable, but it's having the confidence. And as a parent, I guess it's, yeah, I'm capable. You've proven yourself as capable, but it's that confidence and finding that confidence in you and hold, pause, take a breath, remember who you are. And that confidence of who you are will then hopefully power you through a little bit to get to the next moment, really, to return to who you were, really.
You just summed up why we do this podcast together. It is confidence to choose you. Like it is being able to really step back and acknowledge where you're at, what you need in this moment to illuminate your confidence, to fuel yourself in a deeper way to choose you.
What I'm going to say to your listeners is think about what you're moving from, what you're moving towards. That discomfort isn't wrong, it can often be growth. And the clarity of where you're moving to will come after the movement, not before. So yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, it might feel a bit, I don't belong, I don't fit in, this isn't for me. What have I made this decision for? But when you've navigated every other part of your life so far, this one's not going to be any different. You're going to make it. Just remember who you are and choose you in everything you do.
Do the hard right. Take the time to stand up for yourself and really allow that to come forth for how you show up, not only today, tomorrow, 4 weeks from now. Allow that to be your force through how you handle transitions moving forward. And if you want to take this ride of what it means to kind of look at where you're now and how you're expanding in the future, continue to listen. Jump in, connect with Mark, connect with myself. We're here for you. That's why we do this. To like fully be able to be vulnerable within ourselves, with each other, and then holding space for all of you.
Yeah, I'd say remember that transitions are never here to break you. They're here to reveal you and who you are, or who you should be, not who you are being. So I think, as Chris said, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who's navigating a life transition. As always, choose yourself, trust yourself, and stay fearless and fabulous.
Absolutely. Well said. Mic drop. We're back, y'all. It feels good. Look forward to seeing you more in season 3, and we'll talk soon.
See you all soon. Bye now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christie, and I am the founder of Choose You Coaching. As a positivity coach, I specialize in helping individuals navigate through life transitions and achieving personal growth. So whether you are a dedicated mom, embarking on a new career path, or striving for personal development, I am here to be your partner and guide you towards impactful change. Choose you, and let's work together to curate a fulfilling and thriving life.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm an empowerment and confidence coach who supports LGBT plus men to shift their mindset, helping them to let go of who they are not and step into who they truly are. This is done through tackling limiting beliefs, helping to discover their passion and purpose, and maybe even advancing or changing their job career, alongside cultivating meaningful relationships with themselves and others. I'm here to guide them to feel empowered and confident to live as their true, authentic self in all areas of their life.